What up, y'all? We here. Getting tired of this. I'm about to get a new one. I'm getting tired of this intro. It's time for a new intro. Time for a new intro. I know y'all say y'all like it, but I'm getting tired of hearing it. I think I'm. Oh, is my mic on? My bad. Yeah, I gotta hit up J.Lo and get myself a new intro. I gotta hit up J.Lo and slide me some throwaways or some shit. Yeah, I gotta get to somebody. Well, what's up, everybody? Roland Martin over here getting tough with black media, quote unquote new black media, banging. I was watching Urban Politics. I like his reaction channel, and I saw this story. I saw it kind of going around last week, but I was doing some other stuff earlier. My head was in a different place. But then when I saw Urban Politicians today, I was like, oh shit, let me react to that part. And then I was watching O'Shea Duke Jackson. He put up a video of Jennifer Lopez trying to do the James Brown. And then I was listening to Thought Crimes this morning, and they were talking about, I didn't get to catch all there. I want to go back and catch it all on Patreon. I only got about 15 minutes of it in, but in like the 15, 20 minutes I was listening, they were talking about people saying Black America don't have no culture. And so I wanted to talk about, okay, what is Black American culture? But all three topics tie in because throughout today's show, we're going to be highlighting aspects of Black American culture that is right in front of our face that we don't necessarily see all the time. Like one thing that happens to us in our culture is we're told so much. We don't have a culture. We're told what all the good stuff all the good things we do gets amalgamated into American culture, whatever that is. And all the bad stuff gets dumped on us. All the gang banging, all the poverty, that gets pumped into Black culture. To the point to where you even when you watch most YouTube channels that have black content creators, first thing they'll say is that they see two niggas fighting, this is what Black culture is. So we about to bring some clarity to all that. Oh, my bad. I didn't realize I had this stupid ass Hulk Hogan picture up from yesterday. Let me take this shit down. Racist son of a bitch. But rest in peace. Anyway, either way it go. For whatever that means. My bad. I didn't even know I had that shit up there. We talking about America today, Jack. So let's talk about it. But before I go say that, welcome chat room. Welcome chat room. Welcome chat room. Thank y'all for joining. People can have mods. Make sure we let people have the comments. They can comment all they want. But do not say a bunch of unfunny shit. If you keep saying a bunch of bad jokes, the mods are gonna time you out for 5 minutes, and so you can get your mind right and get funnier. But outside of that, everybody have a good time. Thank y'all, chat room. Jacoby, Shayla, Shanice over on Twitter. Salute to everybody over there on Facebook listening. Lone Wolf Effect, all y'all. Thank y'all for joining. All right. So let me get into it. I'm gonna go in order. I'm gonna play this video from. I'm gonna start with this Roland Martin video. Before also go to Patreon. If you're on Patreon, I got some because there's a history lesson I'm gonna do again on funk music, responding to the great. I'm not gonna say his name yet, but to one of the great scholars out there who was trying to tie Africa into funk music. It wasn't clear, and I want to respond to that. But before I respond to that, go to my Patreon, and I got a breakdown on what funk music is, a 2-part breakdown, and each part is like an hour and a half, 2 hours long. So you got about 3 hours of funk, and I'm playing different styles of funk and explaining what funk is. So if you want to know what funk is, on Patreon, I got like 3.5 hours of music dedicated just to funk, with me breaking down and explaining what the genre is. Also, today I released the history, the militant side of James Brown. That's up on Patreon. And also, this week on Patreon, I put up Herbie Hancock and the different innovations he made in music throughout the decades. So just this week alone, you got about 8 to 10 hours of content just breaking down music to the finest, down to the finest particle. But that's up over on Patreon. You know, YouTube don't let me play music, so what can I do? Gotta go to a platform that do. You dig? So that's up right now on Patreon. Anything else I want to say before we get started? I know it's something else I was supposed to say before we get started. God damn. Can't think of it. But yeah, go to Patreon. Oh yeah, Sunday is class number 4, where we're focusing in on funk and disco. This coming Sunday is class number 4 of the Music Summer School. Second to last class. You can still sign up and watch the first 3 and be part of the last 2 live, or you can wait till it's over with and get it later on. All right. With that being said, thank y'all for joining. We about to get started. So again, I was watching this video here. Let me pull it up on urban politicians, and it was this clip from Roland Martin that he clipped up that I want to respond to. All right. So let's play this clip, and now go to Urban Politicians TV, a great reaction channel. He reacts. He's an extremely level-headed brother from Houston. Always has reasonable points of views, and it's good to see our channel as big as his, be as big as it is without cooning. As a matter of fact, he's not only not a coon, he's very, very, very down. So it's dope to see a channel as big as his get as much sign as his with his kind of point of views. But let's go.
We warn people. Y'all shilling. Yeah, y'all know who y'all are. Y'all know. If I had to do a roll call of all them Simple Simon Negroes.
Simple Simon.
Yeah. If I had to, don't get me started. I could run the tables on Vicky Dillon, Boyce Watkins, Tariq Nasheed, Umar Johnson, Philip Scott. Oh yeah, Black Authority. All y'all.
Hold on. He said he could run the table on. No, you can't. Roland Martin been on TV. That's the thing that tripped me out about Roland Martin. You were on TV before we met any of them people you named. Decades before I heard of Tariq Nasheed, I knew who Roland Martin was. Decades before I heard of Vicky Dillard and Philip Scott, I knew who Roland Martin was. Decades before the TVA dude, I knew who Roland Martin was. If you was around back in the 90s, man, if you was watching Video Soul, it was always that sorry ass Roland Martin news break. Anybody, y'all in the chat room, y'all remember the 90s BET? Roland Martin, when we were teenagers, doing our homework and watching BET at the same time, because you know you do your homework on a commercial. Oh shit! Oh, this new 112 video coming on. You stop doing your homework, and then the video go off. You go do your homework. Here's Roland Martin. This is Roland Martin for the BET 30 half of the hour news break. We grew up on Roland Martin. If you in your 40s, you grew up on Roland Martin. People who see a lot of y'all on the East Coast and South, y'all had Tom Joyner. See, in LA, we didn't have Tom Joyner. Tom Joyner kind of came for a little bit. He was syndicated out here for like a year or two, but Tom Joyner was never a thing out here, so we didn't. But y'all down south and on the East Coast, he was on Roland Martin. He was on Tom Joyner. So Roland has been in our lives for a very long time. Let's not forget that. We can sometimes tend to have short memories. We can sometimes forget to have short memories. We got short memories, so let's remember that. So him being able to, the way I look at it, he should be able to run circles around those guys because he's had more access. He's still to this day, he's the one that they call the Essence Fest. He's the one they call the Negro Fest. He's the one they call the Fried Chicken Fest. He's the one they call the Gospel Fest. He's the one that anywhere niggas congregate. When the Taste of Soul come out here in LA back in October, when they had a Taste of Soul on Crenshaw and a million niggas is on Crenshaw in between Rodeo and Stocker. And yes, I said Rodeo because I don't call that sorry ass street Obama. Hell no, it's Rodeo Road. When it's a million niggas right there, Roland Martin gonna be right there. Nobody he named. And still, he can't rise. Maya Angelou rolling over in her grave for giving you so much of her attention. You done had access to Aretha Franklin. You done had access to so many greats. We've seen you interview so many and be around so many of our legends that we love. And still you can't rise. What in the hell is going on? You should be running circles around them. You really should. Look at Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan YouTube channel is killing. White folks kicked him off of the TV channels, and Piers Morgan came right on over into YouTube and been killing it. And Piers Morgan is doing his thing. Only time people talk about Roland Martin is to talk about how stupid this nigga sound. But I do forget, Roland Martin is from Houston. Larry's from Houston, so no disrespect to Houston, but them is two bitch-ass niggas your city done produced. Larry Goodwell and Roland Martin. Yeah, so hey, Houston, I'm going to need y'all. Y'all got two really bad representatives right there. I'm going to need somebody else from Houston to throw their hat in the race and be like, hey, it's some real niggas out here. I know, I love Houston, so I know it's not a real niggas out there. But y'all got a Larry Goodwell / Roland Martin problem. Let's keep going.
Oh, y'all all look at them, they shilling. Look at them, they shilling for the Democrats. They just chill. Yeah, look at y'all just. We gonna have a topic coming up next. They ain't saying nothing how under a Democrat appointee on the FCC changed the law when it came to how many folks were getting overcharged for making phone calls in prison. Republicans got in and said,
Listen to the example. This is what made me want to this part right here is what made me want to do a reaction video. This little snippet. Listen to this part again.
Democrat appointee on the FCC changed the law when it came to how many folks were getting overcharged for making phone calls in prison. Republicans got in and said, no, we throwing that out.
He said we're talking about he's mad at us for talking about tangibles. Then turned around and said it was a Democrat on the FCC that made it to where people can't overcharge for prison phone calls. The fuck that got to do with us black Americans? I don't know nobody in jail. I ain't ever been to a jail. Let me tell you something right now. If you go to jail, don't call me because I don't know what the fuck to do. I ain't never seen a bail bondsman in my life. The only time I've ever gone to the police station in my life was, I swear to God, it was when I was working with kids in South Central LA, the 77th Street Police Department, and also the Sheriff Community Center over on Compton and Gage on the east side. They had community resources for the kids that you work with. If you enroll the kids in the summer program through the LAPD, they can swim for free down at Exposition Park back in the day. I swear to God, that's the only time I've ever been to a police station. I ain't never picked nobody up from jail. I ain't never visited nobody's jail. I ain't never put no money on nobody's books. None of my friends have ever gone to jail. I ain't had not one person in my inner circle or outer circle call me be like, man, I got locked up. That's never happened in my fucking life, all right? And I'm born and raised in South Central, goddammit. Rodeo Road and Crenshaw. I'm supposed to have friends in jail and I don't. You dig? So they ain't got my family members, none of that. So making that seem that that's a benefit to me is bullshit. And that's what bullshit ass niggas like Roland Martin do. They'll take some little fringe benefit from some small, tiny section of Black America and say that's a win for all of us. Fuck out of here. Larry, the only place you gonna go for assaulting a host of this broadcast is to the morgue, motherfucker. You better watch how you talk about goddamn chat room. Never. Only place you gonna go is the goddamn what do they call that? The coma ward, nigga. You fuck with me, Larry. Nigga, you gonna have a coma like Steven Seagal, Hard to Kill, nigga. But you ain't gonna wake up, nigga. You can take that to the bank. Mason Storm, nigga, call you Mason Drizzle, nigga, not Mason Storm. You Mason Drizzle. Take that to the bank. All right, back to what we talking about. So anyway, Roland Martin gonna say that shit, and then on top of that, he want to make talking about some FCC and a Democrat. Roland Martin, I was just thinking about Bill Clinton the other day. Bill Clinton, the Democrat, was probably the most damaging president to Black America outside of Reagan. Reagan and Clinton are probably equally as damaging. And one of the reasons why is what Clinton did to the FCC. When he got rid of that regulation that separated national media and local media. And it basically kicked out local mom and pop radio stations and the nationalized radio stations. That was Bill Clinton when he deregulated that. And that's how we can get force-fed Drake. That's how they can force-feed us Nicki Minaj. That's how they can force-feed us Cardi B. That's how they can force-feed us The Weeknd. That's how they can force-feed people Taylor Swift. Because it's national radio. People don't have to be good anymore to get massive radio play because of a Democrat FCC ruling. The Democrats and the FCC have been hell. The Democrats and the FCC has been hell on us. And how they've used the FCC. Allowing major corporate money to come into small markets where Black-owned radio stations can no longer exist. Like 103.9 KACE out here in LA. I used to love that channel. All that shit was gone by the change of the century. Gone. Because of Democrat FCC rules. I'm not even going to Bill Clinton's criminal stuff. We could talk about the 3 strikes. We could talk about all that stuff too, chat room. Y'all with me, but I'm not even going to the criminal stuff. I'm just sticking with what Democrats did with the FCC. And what they did and that allowed small Black-owned media to be crushed. Black-owned independent radio stations and Black-owned record labels. Those FCC rulers took all that shit out. And that's why music is so bland and straightforward now, because of the lack of diversity within who's allowed to put out music and stream music and play music. If you ever want to go to the death of hip-hop, the death of R&B, the death of real music, you can go to 1996 when Bill Clinton signed the Telecommunications Act. That's a fact. Now let's keep going to what he had to say.
We're just going to discuss that next. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot, Nola. What no tangibles.
Yeah, what no tangibles, motherfucker. Of course, yes. Jail, prison calls is not a tangible. You go to jail, you don't call me. Me no call. Me no answer. You go to jail, me no answer. Me speak Benganese. No, me no answer. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, all y'all FBA, B1, ADOS, assholes. Well, guess what? All that complaining y'all did, welcome to Trump MAGA America. Lame bull.
This is what we wanted, stupid. Yes, we don't mind the deportations. No one is sitting around cheering about families being separated, yada, yada. That's the talking point y'all came up with. Fact of the matter is, the people that's getting kicked out were here illegally. And that's breaking the law. And we as Black Americans, one thing we believe in is following the law. We are some law-abiding citizens, and when we don't abide by the law, we are the most penalized for breaking the law. Nobody's penalized at a higher rate for breaking the law than us. So on one hand, you want to talk about prison calls and all that bullshit. On the other hand, you mad at us because Trump is arresting people for breaking the law. Well, let me help you right there, Roland Martin. That little FCC rule your Democrat homie came up with, we're making calls from prison. Maybe that make them phone calls cheaper for all the motherfuckers Trump is locking up for being in this country illegally. God damn it, that ain't our goddamn problem. And that's what we saying. We don't like Trump. We don't like the Democrats. But hell, Trump is over here. Hell, Trump at least goddamn said black people built America. You know what else Trump did that Clinton fucked us over? Man, I could probably teach a whole college class on how Bill Clinton fucked us over. Another way Bill Clinton fucked us over, a Democrat, was he signed into law that federal documents and state and encouraged local municipalities to follow suit must be in different languages. So what that did was it opened the door for Spanish speakers, for people to never learn English. They can speak Chinese, they can speak Spanish, they can speak French, and they can get goddamn federal forms and federal documents in their native tongue. Meanwhile, black people can't get the shit when we fill it out in English. Bill Clinton made that shit a law. At least Trump reversed it and said, hell no. Federal documents, English only. Yeah, that's what we wanted. We kind of wanted America first. Yeah, that's the one area we agree with them sorry-ass Republicans in. That's the one area we agree with MAGA on. That's the one of the areas we agree with the right wing on. Is America first. And if your stupid ass was listening, Roland Martin, you would have heard us say the whole goddamn time. That, hey, we down with closing the borders. We're down with America first. We know Trump is gonna have some bullshit for us, but at least everybody's gonna get some shared bullshit. White folks losing their jobs like crazy. Harvard not getting no money. Trump over here, Columbia just had to settle for $20 million. What was it, CBS? This nigga Trump done won a lawsuit from CBS and from Columbia University. He holding money from Harvard University. This degenerate is fucking everybody up. And we like, yes, it ain't just us. It ain't just us. Motherfucker. So we're getting exactly what we said was going to happen, you degenerate.
Speech on the floor. I want to know, are you going to pay? I want to know, is a Democrat going to go to the floor and say, I'm shutting this down? I'm putting a hold on every single confirmation, every single nomination. I'm going to make y'all have to go through every procedure to get anything passed. You mean to tell me there's not one Senate Democrat that has the guts to do that? See, this is why people are saying, listen, weaknesses going on here. Black Pack has a new poll out. We're going to talk about a little bit later that shows.
That was most of it right there. That was for the most part where I want to get with what Roland Martin had to say. Talking all that shit. Oh, I'm bigger than all them other ones. Well, you've been on TV way longer than them too. And you're still not. The only thing bigger is your ego. You making all of us fat no-neck niggas look bad. Man, motherfucking Roland Martin making all of us fat niggas with no neck look bad. Shit. Damn, man, we need some more big nigga positive role models up in this bitch. You got Fat Joe fucking things up for the Mexican fat folks. You got Roland Martin fucking it up for the non-FBA fat folks. You got Jason Whitlock. God damn. What's up with fat people in Coonan? That's why I don't like most fat people. That's why I like being the only fat person in the room. I swear to God. I like being the only big nigga in the room. Because of niggas like this. Man, I got to take this shit on the fat community, dog. The fat community got to hold this L. Damn. The fat community got to hold this L. Shit. Now I'm going to have to listen to all these podcasts say, look at this. I know if Thought Crimes got the covering this, I can hear Prince right now saying, look at this Roland Martin, this no-neck nigga right here. And as a fellow no-neck nigga, I'm going to have to take that. God damn. Shit. God damn. This nigga over here trying to bang on us because we want to keep our lineage in check. We got to keep our lineage in check. We got to keep our lineage in check because we got so many people that are saying we don't have a culture, trying to take from our culture. You know what I mean? Because I saw this, going over to the next subject, Jennifer Lopez. I was watching O'Shea Duke Jackson, and he played this video right here of Jennifer Lopez trying to do that, James Brown. And go watch O'Shea Duke Jackson's video on this topic. The title is Jennifer Lopez Steals from the Culture. Go watch that on O'Shea's channel, and he has a dope perspective on this particular topic about people taking from our culture. And I watched this one after I watched a few minutes of Thought Crime this morning when they were talking about people talking about black culture. And then I saw this video, and O'Shea was talking about how, you know, Jennifer Lopez got some new little loan situation, grant situation that she's given to basically only Latino women. But she was put on by black men. She was put on by black men. When she got famous, you know, you heard what Tommy Davidson said when he was like, he saw her in the restaurant, she turned her nose up at him when they used to be hella cool on The Living Color. And then she tried to do the James Brown. I want y'all to watch this shit right here and look at what happens when this is why we steal our culture, so we don't have to see no shit like this.
Watch me. She got it. Watch me. She got it.
What the fuck is this? Y'all see that? What the fuck was this?
But I want to show you guys just a little bit of what happened.
Watch this.
Watch me. She got it. Watch me. She got it.
What the fuck is that? This is why we gatekeep. We gotta let the whole world know. No, you don't got it, Jennifer Lopez. No, you don't. Let's not watch you. You don't got it. That's not it. That's not it. No, that's not it. Take it from James Brown. This is James Brown doing it. He had a sister out there dancing on stage for him on Soul Train. This was a huge departure from this.
Watch me. She got it. Watch me. She got it.
What? No. She got it. Like, that's soul. Let's look at what Jennifer Lopez is trying to do. I saw this video of James Brown. This video I tagged myself in a while ago. This is Michael Jackson and James Brown. You see James Brown's direct influence on Michael Jackson. I'm going to turn the music off because I don't want to get a strike. But watch the video.
Get on up, get on.
That's
Get up, get on up.
that's the real deal. You see who the Godfather is and why James Brown's a Godfather. This James Brown in this goddamn 70s right there doing that. This is the real deal right here. Uh-huh. That's the real deal right there.
Get on up, get up, get on up. Stay on.
That's the real deal right there.
Get on up, show your bone.
That's the real deal, goddammit. Not this shit, Jennifer Lopez.
I want to show you guys just a little bit of what happened.
Watch me. She got it. Watch me. She got it.
That's why we must protect our culture. Right there. People just take it and run all willy-nilly with it. Just run and do all kind of weird, wacky, weirdo shit. Meanwhile, we got to hear from people that we don't have any culture. So what I want to do is break it down. What is Black American culture? Y'all ready to get y'all pens and pads out and take some notes and draw some cultural markers as to what Black American culture is? I have to change the title up. What is Black American culture? How do you identify culture? How do you identify that? Oftentimes people say hip hop is Black American culture. The way we dance, the way we celebrate. Hip hop, the way we dance, the way we celebrate, these are all extensions of culture. Culture is not static. Culture comprises of a lot of different things, a few different things. Number one, language and communication. There's another video I saw from O'Shea Jackson where there was a dude saying, Black Americans have no culture because they have no language. You do not have a language of your own. So, since you do not have a language of your own, you have no culture.
Once again, everybody.
Let me see if I can find that video real quick. I want you to hear this dude say real quick, and then we're gonna break this part down. So again, salute to O'Shea Duke Jackson. He be finding the craziest ass videos. I'd be like, I gotta talk about that.
said this.
But what is the culture? Bro, let me educate you.
Listen to this.
Every culture
Educate.
starts from a language, a tribe. Every tribe have a language. What is it? Apart from English, what other language do Americans speak? The black Americans. The Mexicans in America speak Spanish. They have something they speak outside English. The Asians the Chinese, everybody speak their language outside English. What do you speak? What is a trace
So there we go.
of your
This dude says, outside of English, what do you speak? And he even said the Mexicans have Spanish. Do you know that Spanish is not their language? You dumbass motherfucker, you. But he makes a point when he says culture has a language. And let me tell you something. Black American vernacular, what we did with English is we flipped English into our own thing. Because Black America is an amalgamation of cultures. There's native cultures. There's a scant amount of African culture. Scant. There is some European culture. There are black people that came from Europe in the 1600s, especially from Ireland, 1630. Look it up. You have these groups, and you also have people who are formerly Lenape, formerly Potawatomi, formerly Powhatan, formerly Creek, formerly Cherokee, formerly these other tribes that through time lost their language. But what did we get in return? Black America took English and we made our own language out of English. Black folks, we got to pat ourselves on the back for that. Y'all remember Barry Horowitz, the wrestler? Pat yourself on the back. We made English our own language. When I was a kid, they were saying ain't isn't a word. Don't say ain't. That's not a word. Now you got newscasters saying ain't. We take words and we flip them. Question, chat room. Do we sound like any other English-speaking nation on the planet? Do we sound anything like Britain? Do we sound anything like Old English? Do we sound... What we do with English, and I studied this in school, one thing that made Black America unique is we take the language and we transpose it into our own thing to where bad is good. In the 80s, that was tripping white folks out back in the 80s. Michael Jackson wrote, "Who's bad?" And white folks are like, well, is it bad or is it good? Is it good or is it bad? But Jim, what is it? He said bad. It must be bad. We fuck people up with our language. Nigga could be fuck you, nigga. And you be like, I love that nigga right there. It could be, look at that nigga over there. It could be, I'm tired of these niggas. Niggas and flies. God damn it, I love niggas. That's how our language works. We took this language, whoop, whamp, boom, bam, it, and made it our own. And we can speak vernaculars of English that the rest of you motherfuckers don't understand, and a black person who's never heard that word before can pick it up in a heartbeat. That's our culture. Taking what we were given and whoopty-whamming it to our favor. That's why Black Americans can sit in a room and have a conversation and none of you foreign-born motherfuckers know what the hell we talking about. Because it's no disrespect to you, but we developed our own language with our own context, with our own social cues. So that's number one. That's talking point number one I want to give to y'all. When they say we don't have our language, remind them that we flipped the language that we got and made it our own. And that's why y'all like saying nigga. Because we made the shit hot like we do everything else. That's why y'all use words like ain't. That's why words like bread, cheese, and dough mean cash. That's the reason why the crib mean the house. That's the reason why in every subculture who's come along, that's why the word cool. The word cool meant was The word cool was a temperature. Before Lester Young came in with his saxophone and started saying the word cool, cool was a temperature. Think about that. Cool went from a temperature to an attitude because we said so. That's Black American culture. Taking a word that means one thing and went boom bamping it. And when I say went boom bamp, every nigga out there understand what the fuck I mean. Holla if you hear me, chat room. What is Black American culture? We breaking this shit down. The next thing that identifies culture is traditions and rituals. Write this down, chat. I hope y'all got y'all pen and y'all pad ready. We going to school today, goddammit. Traditions and rituals. We have our own traditions and rituals. One of our traditions is Essence Fest. 4th of July weekend, take your black ass down there until these Africans started fucking it up. And these Africans are starting to see what the hell our culture is when you fuck with our traditions. Family reunions is a tradition and a ritual. Black America, we are the group on this planet that I'm not gonna say planet in the United States of America. We created our own tradition and ritual of family reunion. We as black folk, look, challenge, any of y'all got a white friend? Ask your white friends when's their next family reunion. I'll wait. Line dancing is Black American culture and ritual. Church, the way we do it, is Black American culture and tradition. Sunday dinner, right? That's Black American culture and tradition and ritual. We have a lot of rituals. We created Juneteenth to celebrate. We didn't need Joe Biden to acknowledge it. And what happened this past year when Donald Trump didn't acknowledge it? What were we doing on Juneteenth? Still celebrating. Black Americans created Memorial Day. Memorial Day to memorize our fallen soldiers was a tradition that Black America created, memorializing the fallen soldiers of the Civil War. That's another Black American tradition and ritual. Cookouts, Black American tradition and ritual. Where we come together, where it may not be a family reunion, but it's something it's where the neighborhood comes together. It's where your friend group comes together. A time and a place set aside for friend groups to go and be out on the grass and stand around the grill and line dance and bring in our cultural food. We play our own music in our during our tradition and tradition, and all this stuff all ties in. These cultures can be happening all at the same time. When we're at our family reunion or cookout or barbecue, it comes with our own music. We don't play your music you go, man, look. If you want to go to a Black American cookout or barbecue or family reunion and you play this shit, be like, hey, you got 2 more African songs, nigga. You got 2 more. You got 2 more. And that's for the rest of the time we here. You play that shit, get the fuck off the wheels of steel. You dig what I'm saying? Because a black cookout and barbecue, talking about our culture and traditions, we come around and we have our own music that we play.
We've got our love.
That's us.
No matter what we do, we go on.
That's gonna come on at our cookout.
Whoa, whoa.
That's our culture and tradition right there. Don't play on that fucking radio. We ain't got the time. Because number 3 on the thing is art, music, and creative expression. Black Americans, we have our own dance, and it didn't start with hip hop. It goes back to the cakewalk. It goes back before the cakewalk. But one of our most popular dances in the late 1800s. This is one of the most popular dances we had in the late 1800s that white folks tried to take, but it was really us imitating them. This is our culture and tradition. This is our culture and tradition 100 years ago. Doing the cakewalk. Do you know what the cakewalk was? The cakewalk, it was an intersection of another Black American culture and tradition of clowning, cracking jokes, and making fun of the absurdities of life. Because the cakewalk was Black Americans imitating white people walking, laughing at how easy they have it in life. Black folks be like, man, white folks got it so goddamn easy. So we invented a dance to laugh at how easy we perceive that they have life over us. And it became a dance that still dances till this day. And we create our own dances with our own music. You know, we was cakewalking to our own music. Not bad. That's us. That's us. That's us. Another extension of our culture is creating new music. Because when we took the world by storm of ragtime. When these fleet bitten motherfuckers was getting off the boat at Ellis Island, that's what they heard. And they fell in love with ragtime. But as soon as they fell in love with ragtime, we said, hell nah. We can't be dancing the same dances and listening to the same shit they listen to. Because another part of Black culture is moving on. When the dominant society figures out what we do, we move to the next thing. So as soon as they figured out ragtime, this man James P. Johnson came with Stride. We said, let's change the beat up. White folk. Y'all know who James P. Johnson is. Looking up. See, if you take my music classes, you know who all these people are. If you take my music classes, you know who all these people are. But when we left ragtime, and do you know that the Charleston rhythm is a Black American rhythm that has no connections to Africa? On the drums, let me give you an example of the Charleston rhythm on the drums. This is the Charleston rhythm on the drums.
No, it's just a feeling. A feeling.
It's a kind of a shuffle. It's not quite the shuffle. The shuffle is The Charleston is That is a Black American rhythm that did not exist in Africa. That's our tradition. And then out of James P. Johnson, we get Fats Waller doing some more Black American tradition, which is entertaining and cracking jokes. I'm doing all this shit off the top of my head. It's so easy to identify our culture. Roland Martin and all you motherfuckers are like jiving around. Then we came with the Fats Waller. Fats Waller was always cracking jokes.
Saving all my love for you.
And that's the Black American tradition of drum set. Do you know how great Fats Waller was? Fats Waller composed over 900 songs. So do you know what he did to beat? Because Black folks were always beaten out of our money. Because another part of our culture, our marker of us, another culture of marker of Black culture is a culture of resisting, a culture of fighting back, and a culture of getting around any and all barriers placed in front of us. We do not sit around and complain. We get around the bullshit while we complain about the bullshit. So what Fats Waller did was they stole so much of his music. What he would do is he would write a song and he would write 5 or 6 versions of one song and then go to the copyright building in New York and hand publishers, each publisher, a different version of his song. Because white folks stole our music so much, he would write 5 versions of every song that he wrote and then give them to different publishers, and then they take it to the radio, and then when one try to steal, the other one would be like, hey, that's my song. And then the other one would be like, no, that's my song. So he ends up getting all the white publishers to fight each other, and as they're fighting each other, they don't realize they're proving that that's actually his song. So they had to actually change the laws on how you submit your music because of this guy that will write 5 different versions of one song and make the publishers fight over it to ensure that he gets his royalties. That's part of Black American culture, resistance, and figuring things out while still fighting the system. It's not. That's why I think these other people get confused. We ain't gonna sit around and wait on reparations. Who's sitting around and ain't nobody sitting around, bitch. Nah, we figuring this bullshit out live and in real time while we fight for reparations. Social norms and values is another identifying marker of culture. What's social norms? The Black American value system has always been family. That's why the Kerner Commission report and the Moynihan report was written. The case for the Negro family. Thank you, the Atavists, for letting me know about because I've only had the PDF of this. One of my Twitter followers, he being here, the Atavists, showed me that the book version of it. But go through this Moynihan report, and it talks about the cultural values of Black America and how when Black America is adequately resourced, how much of a family unit that we are. Our own country had to go to war against us to destroy our family. Because what we see right now with the social structure, that's a social structure that's been destroyed by the same people that destroyed Africa, by the same people that destroyed South America, by the same people that put China on his ass for 200 years. White America has done this. Look, what they did to China alone, the Opium Wars. This country been destroying cultures. Yet we still rise. Yet we still keep our family reunions intact. Yet the overwhelming majority of us still stay out of jail. No matter what the unemployment rate is, we find a way. We create businesses. That's our culture. Another cultural identity marker is food and clothing. We, for the most part, have our own menu of food here in America. We create our own menu. We created mac and cheese. Greens are done the way we do them. We created ice cream. We created potato chips. The number one hamburger stand in Los Angeles was Fat Burger. Fat Burger was created by a black woman. We have our own food and our own clothing. Do we make the clothes like? No, we're behind enemy walls. Every time we do make the clothes like we did in the early to mid 90s, there's a system in place to destroy what happens. So what we do is we take the clothes that are on the rack for all of us to buy, and we wear them in our own way. We take what's on the rack, Dapper Dan. We take what's on the rack and we flip it to our liking. It's the reason why we look a certain way. People be like, well, oh, your clothes are European, but you can't wear it like we do. Bitch. You don't wear it like we do. Another marker of culture is cultural memory and history. We have a cultural memory. From family reunions to our music, for better or for worse, we have cultural memory. Most of us know who our grandmama's grandmama was. Hell, when I decide to turn on my car and go down the street, I'm within 15 minutes of walking down the same streets my great-grandfather walked down, my great-grandmother walked down, my grandparents. Oh, and also I want to say this to y'all also. I did a show a couple weeks ago talking about my great-grandfather's invention of the automatic railroad crossing. And what I told y'all I was wrong on, one of my cousins saw the show. I was wrong about something. I was really wrong about something. So one of my cousins called to correct me. So I want to give you guys the correction that I got. Thank you, Cousin Warren, because I was dead wrong. This is still part of Black culture. This past July 17th was the 100-year anniversary my great-grandfather invented the automatic railroad crossing. This past July 17th was the 100-year anniversary that he got the patent. If you look up this patent, the patent is by an Alfred S. Hoggett. That's my great-grandfather. That's my grandmother's daddy. Okay? The mistake I made was because I read in the newspaper that he sold this patent. And we moved, and I heard that this patent was sold. Cousin Warren called and told me that this patent was stolen. My great-grandfather was never compensated for this patent. Train railroad companies just started using it. Yep. So I was wrong. I thought great-granddaddy got it, but he didn't. This was stolen. So that's another part of Black American culture and tradition. Another part of Black American culture and tradition is resilience. It's creating things, not getting compensated for it, and still finding a way to move on. That's part of our tradition. Is finding a way to move on. Let me see here. One second. All right. And that's one of the more unfortunate parts of our tradition. It's a part of our tradition that was put on us. Nothing that we signed up for, nothing that we volunteered for. Think about think about this. What if my family got 1/1000th of 1% of every time one of these was used? What if we got 1/1000th or 1/100th of? Let's give us 1/100th of 1% of every time this patent was used worldwide. You think I'd be on fucking YouTube right now? But I digress. So I was wrong. He did not sell the patent. It was stolen. Another cultural marker is geography and environment. See, this one right here is the part that really throws everybody else off. I got some super chats. What's up, Tat Lawson? Roland asks for New Black Media. Is your blood? Is you a blood or a cuz? That shit was funny. Percy says, "Oh, Dewan looks like Uncle Phil. Thank you for the $5, but you need to spend that $5 on some joke classes. You don't need to repeat the jokes you've been saying since the 3rd grade. All right, spend that money on comedy class, brother." Appreciate the super chat, Brooklyn G baby. Yeah, I know a few comedians that offer classes. I know a few joke books. You should invest that $5.99 into them joke books and read you some charisma. All right. What's up, Black Voltron in the chat? Senator John, FBA, and nothing. Appreciate all y'all for joining. PJ Allen, J. Daniels, C. Phillips, AK, B1. Appreciate all y'all for joining. So what we're doing is we're breaking down what Black American culture is. Well, not just Black American, what culture is, period, and how that fits into Black American culture. Geography and environment is a major part. A culture is tied to land and region. So when they talk about you being native to a land or a region, that's usually sometime after the 2nd and 3rd generation, depending on who you're talking to. Depending on what science, what anthropologist you're talking to, they're going to say somewhere between the 2nd and 4th generation. You're now part of that culture. You're part of that society. Well, what about those of us who have been here for 20 generations, 25 generations? I know I have. Part of culture is tied to where you are now. And nobody has been tied to this land longer than Black Americans. Somebody's going to say, well, what about the Native Americans? Do you think them Phil Jackson looking motherfuckers are really the Native Americans? You think a Native American's real last name is Roethlisberger or Stein? Them is $5 Indians. And when it comes to the Plains Indians, if they're the dominant culture, then why the fuck ain't we going around going, ain't nobody doing that shit? Most of the Indians are Europeans up to date, today's Indians. And we got G'd up out of our spot. We got paper genocided out of the record books as natives to this land. Paper genocide is what fucked us over when it came to that. You can look up a lot of people who, the paper genocide. You can look at Walter Plecker and how he took thousands, tens of thousands of black natives out of our land, out of our birthright. Dr. Thomas Jones, the Louisiana Bureau of Statistics, they did the same thing intentionally. The Mississippi and North Carolina Vital Statistic Offices, they did the same thing. Carl Bingham. And the crazy part about it is when the black people start to look places, if you look up, a lot of your records buildings in the South were burned in the 1880s, 1900s, 1920s, 1950s. A lot of your record houses in the South that had our record native ancestry, they were burned. Look it up. And you know what else has our native ancestry and our memory? The black church. The reason why it's so important to have Big Mama's Bible, because in Big Mama's Bible, it's going to show the year and the time that everybody was born while Big Mama was alive. The church has in the record books the weddings, the funerals, and the christenings. Or when I was a word of faith church, it was dedicating your baby to God. That's why church is part of our tradition, because the church is part of our culture. The church hold the records, and that's why so many black churches get burned. Do you think it's a coincidence that every time you look up every year or two, there's another black church getting bombed? They burned Thomas Dorsey's church in Chicago a few years ago, where gospel music started. They're not burning a church, they're burning the records. These are facts. They're not burning churches, they're burning records. Has anyone here ever been to a pastor's funeral? Y'all know when they go to a pastor's funeral or somebody important, Greater Ebenezer Missionary Baptist Church is going to hold in the records on this day, July 27th, 1988, that the Reverend Tim Abernathy McLaughlin passed away, and he had the church, and he had a membership of 900 people, and we're going to enter the record on this day. Then the next person up, the Greater Walter Baptist Church is going to recognize that on this day, the Reverend Abernathy Montgomery died. And you go to a pastor's church, it's going to be an hour of them reading what's going to go into the records of this church and that church. And we go to a funeral, you be like, nigga, shit, I love pastor, but goddamn, funeral 4 hours long. What we have to understand is that's the time that culture is taking place. The black church is what holds the records. We hold our own records. So we'll get somebody coming from Nigeria named Friday. This nigga's name is Lovejoy. I actually knew a brother named Lovejoy back at UCLA. It's crazy as hell. It was a Nigerian dude who used to cook for this sorority house that me and my homeboy used to run through. His name was Lovejoy. And Lovejoy's birthday is always January 1st. And Lovejoy cannot tell you the time or date that his grandmama was born or his own mama. Maybe not even himself. No disrespect, but the dude that was in that video comes from one of those cultures. McDuffie, you said the oldest church in Alabama, St. Barnabas, was burned down twice. Yeah, because that black church was holding records. Altadena just was burned down. Records. A black neighborhood that's been around for about 100 years here in LA. Burnt to a crisp. Churches are right along with them. So these are the ways that you can identify culture. And black Americans, boy, we got a very strong one. We got a very strong culture, boy. Yes, the hell we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And you got people like Roland Martin that are paid to make sure that we don't stay on top of this. He's get paid to cuss us out and call us stupid fools for understanding our culture and delineating. And understand this. Our culture is nationwide. And one thing that I'm proving in my documentary that I'm putting together so slowly, thank you again, everybody who donated for it, it's coming together, y'all. It's coming together. That our culture, although heavily influenced by the South, is not all Southern. It's not. Black American culture in Philadelphia, 300 years long. Black American culture in Chicago, well over 200 years long. Same with Detroit. Same with Cincinnati. Same with DC and Boston, New York. We've always had free black Americans across the country. I'm going to give you an example of black American culture. Do y'all want me to give me a little nugget? I don't think this part's going to make my documentary, so I can give y'all this because it doesn't fit in what I'm covering in this particular documentary. Let me help you out with something. In the North, we were playing something called parlor music. Not that one. Not that one. Here we go. This kind of music right here, this parlor music. This was popularized by black orchestras in the North. Oh, did you know that? Did you know that? Yeah. Black composers out of Boston, out of Philadelphia, Chicago. They were creating that. That was what we were listening to. You know what else is black culture? And line dancing. No, that's too old. That's too new. Let me see. Let me see if I can get another one. This is white folks doing it. But this is Appalachian, mid East Coast Black American tradition. Who do you think they learned this from? Somebody sitting in there playing the fiddle and everyone doing a line dance. Black American. Do you fucking think line dancing started with the cha-cha slide? We are the ones that brought the waltz to America. This is who brought the waltz to America. The waltz is Black American. Boom, bop, bop, boom, bop, bop, boom, bop, bop, boom, bop, bop, boom, bop, bop. There's a European waltz, and then there's the American waltz. In 3/4, it was a Black American that brought that to America, and he took it to Philadelphia. So, when we limit our history to the South, we're limiting what we were doing in 1820, in 1830, in 1810, in 1790, in 1776. We established that shit too. Okay? It's like when we talk about our history and we just say slavery. Oh, it was slavery, slavery, slavery. The reason why the slavery argument falls on a lot of deaf ears, because they do say, well, slavery was 150 years ago. When are you going to get over it? And that's a valid question. We're not until we get reparations, but it's still a valid question. It's not just slavery. It's the Jim Crow laws, the black codes, and the laws that have been put in place since slavery to keep us in the same position as slavery. And when people look back on slavery and say when we just talk about slavery, that means we're not talking about our inventions. We're not talking about our innovations. We're not talking about all the black free towns that was burned down during slavery. Rory, I want you guys to look up something right now. Take some notes. I hope y'all still taking notes. I'm teaching today. Look up the Jacksonian rebellions of the 1830s. I challenge you right now. Look up the Jacksonian riots. Y'all want to go there with me? Let's do this live on together here on YouTube. Tell me about the Jacksonian. Go to ChatGPT and ask, tell me about the Jacksonian riots that burned down black towns. Look at this. I knew this shit off the top of my head, but I want to show this for y'all. Did y'all know about the Cincinnati riots in 1829 and 1836? Where they burned down black communities and black towns? We barely even know about the 1920s in Wilmington and black folks. That's one thing that throws us disservice when we say people get tired of hearing about Black Wall Street. And yes, we got to keep talking about it. But Black Wall Street was less than 0.1% of the towns that got burned down. We was going through this shit during the time of slavery because we still had free black people in the North. Philadelphia, 1834 and 1849. With major flare-ups in 1834, 35, 38, 42. where these white mobs came down and burned down black churches and businesses. New York, anti-abolitionist riot, 1834. Providence, Rhode Island, 1831. And these are just some of the riots that happened while Andrew Jackson was president. There are riots before Jackson's presidency. There are riots after his presidency. But when Andrew Jackson was elected president, black free towns in the North got fucked up. Our shit go deep, nigga. It ain't no just the South. It ain't just slavery. That was in the 1800s. So when we say everything's the South, the South, the South, the South, we turn our backs on our brothers and sisters in the North that was catching hell too. And I promise you, them black folks in the North were not doing white culture. They were doing theirs. All right? We've been socially engineered to only focus on the South. We've been socially engineered to only focus to when we do talk about our great stuff, go to Africa. Everything great happened in Africa. Everything black is only in the South. No. It's wherever we stand. You're right. They had slavery in California too. Although California was an official slave state, look up San Bernardino. Look up all the Mormons that got Utah had slavery. And a lot of your California slaves came from Utah. Yeah, the South starts at Maine, nigga. Somebody say if it ain't Canada, it's the South. Yeah, right. The South starts at Maine, nigga. The South starts at Vermont. The South starts at New York and Ohio and Michigan. That's where the South starts. Indiana. Pennsylvania. That's where the South starts. When we keep it to just the South, we limit the grandiose, the breadth of our greatness. Because a lot of those people in the South, as you read books like this, you'll find out that a lot of the people in the South started out in the North and were kidnapped, victims of war, and sent down to the South, shipped to the South to be slaves, especially after 1835. Don't let them tell you we ain't got no culture. I'm not going to take any calls today. I got some super chats. Jessica, thank you for the super chat. Much love for the 50 ball. James Johnson, appreciate the cash app. Xavier, appreciate the cash app. Williams, appreciate the cash app. Latrivia Lawson, I appreciate the cash app. Thank y'all for that. I can go smoke some weed now. Not just playing. I spend my money on that. Everything y'all send me in Cash App, go right to this show. Y'all see it? Y'all like the new camera? I ain't even got the lights on. This is just straight up natural light, no lights, because I got the new camera. I appreciate y'all for the Cash Apps, and what y'all send to this show pays for all of my backlog stuff, my Ecamm, my Zoom, all that other shit that I gotta have to run it. And I'm actually about to get a new Stream Deck. I mean, I should probably get a new audio system because I want a little more bass in my voice. I want some adjusters and faders. So I'm about to go to the Guitar Center and get some. I'm gonna get a new mic set up. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for listening. Yeah, we have a culture. We cannot let people like Roland Martin browbeat us for not being with one particular party. We cannot let that happen. We cannot let that happen. You know, when we get these Jennifer Lopez's that come into our community, get rich, and don't spread resources back to our community, we got to call it out. One thing we got to start normalizing, because let me tell y'all something, black folks. When you create dope shit, people are going to come to it, period. If what you create is great, is dope, is wonderful, you're going to get people trying to get a piece of theirs. So we as people got to know that we're always going to have Jennifer Lopez's. We're always going to have these Michael Rappaport, whatever the fuck his name is, Michael Reprobate. We're always going to have these people, Ozzy Osbourne, that basically the Beatles and Taylor Swift's, these Drakes. We're always going to have these people that use our culture. What we have to normalize is, okay, you're here. We have to normalize putting pressure on these people. Okay, what are you doing to donate and move causes forward within our community? We got to start thinking on that level. When you see the people with the other hats in other communities, when people come into their community, they got to donate to causes in that community. When Kyrie Irving offended one community, he had to donate millions and millions of dollars to schools in for that community. When certain communities get offended, then they got to donate as part of the apology. We got to normalize these people coming in and donating to what we do, putting money up on what we do, creating community centers in our neighborhoods, fighting against gentrification in our neighborhoods. Because they are still in our shit. Like this last thing I'm saying, like speaking of stealing, we got this new Drake project coming out, and that video today was horrible, by the way. And what is Drake doing? He's renaming himself the Iceman. What makes this particularly offensive is he did it right after the original Iceman died. Jerry Butler. Jerry Butler is the Iceman. Jerry Butler just died this past February. So you knowing that this fraud Drake, this culture vulture ass motherfucker, you know he saw that shit. Oh, what do you mean? That was a guy named Iceman? Oh yeah? Oh, that's dope. I didn't know that there was somebody what's his name? Jerry Butler? Oh, he's dead now, right? He's dead, right? Oh, dope. So yeah, that's gonna be the name of my new project. Yeah, I like that. So this motherfucker's taking again from Black American culture. Rest in peace, Jerry Butler. That's the real Iceman. That's the real Iceman. And that song was low key. And thing is about that song by Jerry Butler, it's in the vein of Drake. I'm sorry, Drake's in the vein of the real Iceman, Jerry Butler. Because that song, Never Gonna Give You Up, man, my man Jerry Butler was simping a little bit. So you thinking of leaving, and this song is talking about, I don't care if you leaving me. I'm going to stay with you, girl. That's what Jerry the Iceman Butler was talking about. This is what Kendrick Lamar was talking about when he said, "You're a colonizer." The same year Jerry the Iceman Butler dies, Drake names himself the Iceman. The Impressions. And before he was with the Impressions, he was with the gospel group with Curtis Mayfield. This is the Iceman. That's a classic right there. Jerry Butler with the Impressions. That's that Chicago soul. That's what it was. The Northern Gospel Jubilee Singers. The Jubilee Singers. Jerry Butler discovered Curtis Mayfield because they both sang for the Northern Gospel, the Jubilee Gospel Singers. They sang the gospel quartet, and then they went on, and Jerry Butler formed the Impressions, and then Curtis Mayfield came behind him and got with the Impressions. But that's the Iceman, the founder of the Impressions. This is the Iceman right here. Man, culture vulture like a motherfucker. That's the Iceman. Jerry Butler's still with them, singing background on these songs. Proud. That's the Iceman, nigga. This culture vulture light-skinned motherfucker trying to take my man's name the year he died. Fuck you, Drake. What that weak ass song you doing? You ain't no goddamn Iceman. Fuck you and all your music you putting out. Because our music is wonderful, is beautiful, is great, and we are the culture. Rest in peace to the real Iceman, Jerry Butler. And thank y'all for listening today. Patreon, y'all got a lot. Patreon, y'all got 8 hours of information this week. So if I don't put nothing up the next goddamn 3 or 4 days, don't be complaining. Well, like I said, thank God. Actually, nobody in my Patreon complains. Everyone loves it. No, I haven't gotten any complaints yet. But y'all got 2-part series on the foundations of funk and the different levels of funk and where funk comes from and the evolution of funk. You got a part 1 and a part 2 on the evolution of funk on Patreon. You got a breakdown on James Brown and the militancy and the message within James Brown's music. And you also got a lesson on Herbie Hancock and the musical innovations that Herbie Hancock brought to us. 8 hours of content just this week. So y'all got a lot to watch over on Patreon. I'm not going to post anything for the next couple days because y'all got a lot to learn over there, all right? And if you ain't on my Patreon, what the hell is your problem? All right? Oh, Rocky over here knocked out. Hey, look at Rocky. Look at Rocky. Rocky over here. Rocky over here like, yeah, you know what? Rocky over there chilling. I'm about to go play with Rocky. I'm about to wake Rocky up. And me and Rocky about to smoke one. All right? Me and Rocky about to smoke one. I'll holler at y'all. Yeah. Join the Patreon. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, y'all. Yeah, Rocky knocked out. We about to go smoke. I'll holler at y'all.